Actor and producer Jesse Metcalfe is our guest here on Sports Spectrum. What's up, Jesse?
How are you today? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. I'm doing well. It's good to see you. Good to talk to you. Before we talk about your new movie, On a Wing and a Prayer, on Amazon Prime, I'm excited for that movie. But I need to ask you about your hoops game, as I understand you can play a little bit. Is that accurate?
It's pretty accurate. Yeah. I used to be able to play a little bit.
You're
Um,
not still playing?
haven't played a lot of ball recently, but I used to be on a lot of teams growing up as a kid, and then also in a lot of charity leagues. And
Hmm.
yeah, I had a lot of fun playing basketball. I haven't played many sports since June of last year because I had some surgery. I had a hip replacement, believe it or not.
Oh, wow. You're in your early 40s and a hip replacement,
I
man.
know it was genetic, but I have definitely bounced back. Already working out hard. Squatting big weight again. And hopefully I'll get back out on the court soon.
So we have a church basketball league here at our church in Connecticut in Bristol, and we're always looking for players. So my question would be, not that you would have to come up here all the way from where you live at the bottom of Connecticut to play, but if we had you playing in our league when you were playing basketball, what type of player were you? What would we be getting if we were having Jesse play in our church league?
I'm a shooter, man.
Shooter. All right. So I'm getting you the ball. I'm
Yeah,
driving and I'm kicking it out to you.
kick it out to me in the corner, man,
All
for
right.
sure.
So I know you're a big NBA fan. Tell me the teams. I mean, did I read that you're a Lakers and a Knicks fan? How does that work?
That,
Somebody please tell
that
me.
doesn't work. I was never a Lakers fan.
Okay.
I've always been a Knicks fan.
Okay. So they're having a good year this year.
Yeah, no, I know. I know. It's refreshing, to say the least. Yeah.
Absolutely. Have you ever been to a Knicks game before?
Oh, many, many, many times. Yeah,
Okay.
of
Okay.
course.
So who was your
Of
guy?
course.
Like growing up, who was your Knicks guy?
Uh, Allen Houston,
Yes.
because that's my game.
So we had Alan on this podcast. He's a strong believer and he's an amazing player, but boy, could he shoot.
Yes, he could. A nice jump shot, very pure.
Yes, and those were some fun times with the Knicks. It's nice to see them back sort of
Yeah.
in the playoff mix here in 2023. So
Yeah.
this podcast, the brand that we're focusing on is intersection of sports and faith. I know your faith's important to you. Can you kind of share a little bit about your walk with God? I know you've been involved in some faith-based projects and maybe how that's evolved for you over the years.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have been lucky enough to be part of, I think, four faith-based projects
Yeah.
now in my career. Always had incredible experiences on all of them. But this one in particular is really important to me just because I feel like it has a strong faith-based message, but I wouldn't call it a faith-based film.
Hmm.
So it really bridges the gap between faith-based content and mainstream content.
Yeah.
Uh, because I don't necessarily think that faith-based content needs its own genre.
Right.
Uh, and as far as my personal faith, I mean, I just think it's important for everyone, regardless, of your particular perspective on faith or
Yeah.
religion, to believe in something greater than yourself, because self-will never leads anywhere good.
Mm.
And we're all going to have challenging times in our lives. And, you need to believe that there's something governing our world and that you're going to get through those hard times. I mean, you got to believe, and it's also important to believe in things that aren't of the material world, believe in things that you can't see. I think it's an important tool to give you perspective in this ever increasingly more complicated world.
Yeah, I mean, in essence, that's the definition of faith, right? Being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we can't see. When you're on a movie like On a Wing, on a Prayer, how does that encourage you in your faith? And I want to talk about the movie in a second, but how does that encourage you, or being on any of these the faith-based projects, or really any project that you've been in, but just being encouraged in your own personal journey, like walking away and saying, "Wow, this wasn't just work. This was something that really, is going to stay with me."
I don't really look at my work as an actor as evangelical in any way.
Yeah.
I mean, I really approach my work as an actor from a character perspective
Mm,
solely, and trying to perform and communicate the emotional journey of a character, in this case, Carrie Sorensen.
yeah.
And if that emotional journey happens to deal with faith, then great. That will be illuminated. But it's not necessarily my objective to illuminate faith.
Sure. I understand. He is Jesse Metcalfe, and he's joining us here on Sports Spectrum. All right, let's talk about the movie. You play Carrie, as you mentioned, in this movie alongside Dennis Quaid, Heather Graham, and many others. Tell us about the movie, what we can expect when we're watching it. And it's coming out on Amazon Prime. It's Easter weekend, so it's perfect time. When we're thinking about getting together with family, thinking about faith, this is the perfect time to sit together and watch a movie like this. So tell us about it.
Well, I think this movie first and foremost is very entertaining. It's very watchable. It's very compelling. A lot of times, so much content is being made right now that we turn something on, and we might turn it off 15 minutes later.
Yeah.
So I think first and foremost, we need to remember within the entertainment industry, whether we need to entertain. That's our job.
Yes.
And this movie really has a nice pace to it, and it's just very compelling and very watchable, and ultimately uplifting and a bit emotional. So I really do think it's the perfect movie for the holiday weekend.
What's your biggest hope for people when they watch it, when what they can take away from it?
I think the movie really is about leaning on and trusting the people around you.
Hmm.
I think so many people think that they can handle their whether they're situational issues or whether they're emotional issues, that they can handle things on their own, but you can't. I mean, you need your inner circle. You need your community of people who love and care about you to help you through hard times. And I think that's the message of this movie.
It's probably been something you've experienced personally too, I would imagine. I mean, we all have, right?
Who hasn't? Exactly.
Yeah. Tell me about that aspect of your life and your journey and having the support of family and friends. Nobody can do this life on their own. You've had quite the journey, and started out super young when you started this world of acting. What's that been like for you when you think about where God has brought you to where you are today?
Well, the entertainment industry can be a little bit of a roller coaster ride. You're not necessarily always going to be on top. Um, I've been blessed enough to have a 24-year career and have worked relatively consistently that entire time, but it hasn't always been easy. Once you've reached certain heights, um, and you hit a valley in your career, it can be difficult for a lot of actors. And it's been difficult for me in the past, but I really like where I am now. Um, I'm just more at peace, and I think that comes with maturity and with age. I
Yeah.
know who I am, and what I bring to the table in this industry, and I've learned patience. You know, uh, Things don't happen on your schedule. Life has its own way of unfolding, and you have to be okay with that.
All right. He is Jesse Metcalfe. This new movie, people got to go watch it on Amazon Prime, On a Wing and a Prayer. Quick rapid fire here with some sports stuff. If you could watch any sporting event, past, present, or who knows, maybe the NBA Finals with the Knicks someday in it, what would you choose?
Oh, wow. That is a very difficult question. One specific sporting event?
Yeah, it could be the Super Bowl. It could be like the Knicks in the finals. It could be, World Series.
I mean, yeah, I'd love to see the New York Knickerbockers back in the finals, but I won't hold my breath this season.
What were you like 12, 14, something like that when they were in the finals in the mid 90s?
it's only been 30 years. It's fine.
It's been like 50 years since they won NBA championship, so it's been a long time. All right, when you were a kid, one sport, like let's say I'm talking to 10-year-old Jesse Metcalfe, what's the sport that you would play? Was it basketball even when you
No,
were 9?
actually, at that age, it was baseball.
Baseball.
Yeah.
Okay. Were you a pitcher?
Nope. I played third base. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I played third base.
what's your favorite memory from playing Little League?
I mean, when we won the championship,
Oh, there you go. You got a championship. See? Did
the
you get the
lumber
trophy and everything?
the Lumberjacks.
The
That
Lumberjacks.
was
So
my
you didn't
team. The
interest.
Lumberjacks, we won the championship, and it was actually my stepfather who paid for all the jackets and bought the jackets that year. He donated, which was a big deal, for our family because we weren't rich, we were like a middle class family. So I was really proud of that.
The Lumberjacks. All right, I think
Lumberjacks.
that's a good place to leave this. The Lumberjacks, Jesse Metcalfe,
Don't mess with the
Little League,
Lumberjacks.
Little League champion, Jesse Metcalfe.
We're
We'll start with
stacked.
that. I do doubt it. On a Wing and a Prayer is on Amazon Prime now. It released April 7th this weekend, Easter weekend. Jesse, great to talk to you, buddy. Appreciate your time
Sure.
here joining us on Sports Spectrum.
My pleasure.